First of all, I'm pissed I even have to make this channel. I'm really, really not happy about this. But I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of soul searching lately, and I've just been paying attention to the news, and I don't care if people think it's fake news because I always err on the side of human rights where the news is concerned. And even if half the stuff they say isn't happening down near the border, with all the kids and the dirty diapers and the no deodorant and so on and so forth, and deodorant is actually the least of their worries, it's happening somewhere. And it's happening somewhere because of us, and I can't ignore our history, and I can't ignore the things that made it happen. In other words, the U.S.'s hegemonic force that it exercises pretty much all over the world. And it exercised it most strongly in South and Central America. I've been re-educating myself on the history of all these countries that we've gone in, and we've essentially taken their resources for ourselves, commandeered businesses, taken over businesses, compromised their law enforcement systems, sent some of our own guys trained by the military down there who were not on the citizen sides. I mean, it's a whole morbid history. And I can't just sit back and do nothing, but at the same time, I'm pissed. And again, this is not going to be a Trump bashing channel per se. But let's just say, Trump has motivated me. Trump has exposed many things, but not the way a lot of conspiracy theorists would assume. Trump has exposed this nation's ills. He's exposed what's been going on century after century. He showed us who he was. He showed us who he was before he was elected president. And the people who voted for him thought that was a good thing. They thought it was so refreshing. Oh, look, he's being honest. He's being so refreshing, saying exactly what he means. Aside from the fact that he flip-flops nearly every turn at every time. So yeah, I do believe he's being sincere most of the time, and I do believe he says what he means. But it's constantly changing, and it constantly changes, like, depending on whose company he's in. Donald Trump, to me, essentially epitomizes pretty much the way every president has been behind closed doors. And he's just shown us all pretty much what our leaders are like behind closed doors. Of course, if he's this bad in front of open doors, think how bad he is behind closed doors. But Trump has essentially exposed even further our hegemonic and criminal acts as a country, and how we treat foreigners and how we deplete their countries. There was one YouTube video maker who said we burn their house down and then kick them in the ass as they try and leave for safer waters. So I can't not do anything, and a YouTube video channel is not the least of the things I'm going to do. There are other things I'm planning on doing, boots on the ground type stuff, because I can't just sit by and watch. And I don't even pretend to be the most educated person. Like, I'm getting better at my education, because for a long time I just bought into the whole notion of like, oh, it doesn't matter. Liberal or conservative, it doesn't matter, they're all the same. Actually, they're not all the same. Conservatives essentially support the rich, but convince you that they're going to support you. Democrats convince you and then don't really do anything about it. But it doesn't matter. Those are the establishment politicians I'm talking about. The basic principles of each party are what I'm on about, and I plan on working with the best principles of each. But right now, it's not good. It's not good, this whole ICE thing. I'm recording this on July 14th. This whole ICE, all these ICE raids, I mean, and I get it, it's a little bit different than what the Gestapo would do, but even still, it just harkens back to that. And there's got to be a better way to handle it. And when you see the LAPD saying no and saying they're not gonna stand for it, you know something's up. You know something's wrong. And you know the LAPD probably knows something. But regardless, I mean, it just gives me hearkenings back of William Cooper's Behold a Pale Horse when he talked about don't ever be home alone. Don't ever be at home on a Thanksgiving Day because they will come for you. And it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what and it doesn't matter how. It's basically just the way I feel right now is related to the old classic poem. First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. And that is what I do not want to have happen. That is what I do not want to see, but we're already seeing it, so what the hell? We didn't do enough, apparently. But that said, I am inspired by varying and sundry YouTube channels, not the least of which is Beau of the Fifth Column. He is educating me up the wazoo. I will never catch up to his level of knowledge. I will never catch up to pretty much any of these YouTube channels that center around essentially civil rights and social justice, and I don't care what anybody thinks. The mere fact that as part of our daily rhetoric now, they put warrior at the back of it, and they put warrior behind social justice and turn it into a dirty word. It's not. That's just the way that they goad you to being on your master's side rather than the slaves of the society, and it's not cool, and it's not right. And together we will conquer. And that's pretty much about all I have to say. All right, peace out.